it's recording. Okay.
Oh, that's interesting how yours says recording. Mine just does it. I have this little box on the side that does that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's weird. Yours shows up totally different.
I'll let everybody know. Maybe because it's as the host kind of thing, and it'll lets everybody know, hey, your voices are being recorded right now, and legally, blah 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 blah. Okay, he still hasn't looked on. I think I'm just gonna start. I'm gonna message him and say. You promise. Okay.
Cool.
Okay. All right. Give me just a moment of silence, and then I will begin.
Awesome.
Welcome everybody to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Today I get to be playing host. It is Melanie Dean from Pieces of Melee. Joining me is author from the Rite of Wands series, Mackenzie Floor. Hey, Mackenzie.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing awesome, even though our fearless leader, Christian, is not here, but we will persevere. So, persevering on, because I'm going to just keep getting tongue-tied as I go along. Dr. Freedom himself on YouTube. Brian Burris is joining us as well. Hey, Brian.
Hello, how y'all doing out there?
And finally, we have a special guest, everybody. You may know her as a weeping angel. You may, I would say recognize, but I don't know if you'd really recognize her in the Clockwork Woman outfit because your face was kind of masked. But we have musician, performer, makeup artist extraordinaire. This woman is a master of so many trades. It's insane. Elen Thomas. Hello, Elen.
Hello, how are you?
Doing well. Even doing better now that we get to have this awesome interview with you. When Christian had told me, or actually told all of us, that we were going to have the opportunity to speak to you, it really had just piqued my interest because I had for a while wanted to become a makeup artist. And as a Who fan, I knew you're performing in the background of and being these amazing, crazy monsters that have all this makeup and just, oh, I have so many questions. And that's what this episode's about. We get to ask you all these questions and see what what you're up to and how much excitement it was back then. And as I was, learning more about you, because I promise I'm not being a stalker, I didn't realize that you have this amazing music career. And I was looking on Facebook, and I mean, your Mad World cover is incredible. Oh my God. So yes, we're going to start interviewing you in a moment. First, we're going to hurry up and do what we tend to do, and it's called Who Knew News. And this time around, our author, Mackenzie Floor, has some news for us. So, Mackenzie, what's going on in the world of Doctor Who?
Well, a lot of the new information that we got going on right now happens to be in Big Finish's world. On Saturday, they had the Big Finish Big Day, and there they announced that there is a new vinyl that is coming to, or a new audio coming to vinyl that is a Fourth Doctor vinyl, which I believe Dr. Freedom's going to tell a little bit about that. The other news that I have is the Seventh Doctor is, and I'm really excited about this because this was my first introduction into Big Finish, was Doom Coalition. There is the evil creature, the 11, is going to be featuring on the Seventh Doctor and Ace. So I'm really excited about that particular one. The other thing is, fans that are listening to this have not yet put in their short trip competition piece to Big Finish. You have 1 day. It has to be in by midnight British time. Not our British time, Sunday. So if you want to get in, you got to get in.
Always check those clocks when it comes to any type of Doctor Who or any type of competition, because you never know if it's going to be in the UK or it's going to be in the US. I know that firsthand with doing a painting competition for a Doctor Who piece, and I realized it was 1 o'clock. And I'm like, oh, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, that probably means, it'll be fine. I mean, I would think 1 o'clock being a weird time in the US is probably evening, across the pond. No, it was 8 a.m. over there. So I stayed up till 4 a.m. to keep on painting. But very, very important. Always check your time zones. That's the great thing about smartphones today. People, you can have multiple clocks and know what time it is. So, Dr. Freedom, what's this I hear about Big Finish news?
Okay, Matthew Purchase put up on Twitter earlier today. He said it looks as though there might be another Big Finish vinyl announcement coming soon. He said a fan found this image on the Big Finish website. And if you look at the image, it's Wave of Destruction, which starred Tom Baker, Lala Ward, and John Leeson. So if you've ever heard that one before or whatnot, it looks apparently like it's going to be the next vinyl that's going to be coming out. Also, Thomas Chapman chimed in on that, and he said something about Death and the Queen might be another one. So it looks like we're going to be having more vinyls coming from Big Finish.
Ooh. So wait, vinyl? So is it just going to be pressed in your typical, I can't even say record size, and or are they going to also, do you know if they also do it in, audio as in digital files, not audio, of course.
Oh yeah, these will be, these are, I think, already out if I'm not remember right. So it's just, they've been re-releasing earlier tracks. Like, they had the Creeping Flesh. What was it now? I want to say the Creeping Flesh because that was a movie, but they had the Creeping Terror. That was one that was put out recently by David Tennant. That's being put out on vinyl as well. It just seems like LPs become a new fad. It's kind of strange because I thought it had died a long time ago, yet, like I told a friend of mine, I was in Walmart last week and they now have a vinyl LP section, which frightens me.
Oh, really? They actually have a section?
Yeah.
Well,
they
that's
actually
the funny
have
thing
a
is
small section there.
Because I remember seeing a lot of, vinyls never really going away. Like if you went to the Hot Topics of the world, or unfortunately, like more and more record stores were kind of just going away. So you didn't really see vinyl, but it was always that kind of little kitsch little market. But I remember growing up and like the size of my dad's record cabinet was huge. It was as tall as me. So it's kind of interesting seeing, like, going to the Walmarts, the Targets, over in the UK, Arco, and finding out through the catalog and going, oh, look, there's a record player here. Okay, well, hey, as long as they're making the players and they can go ahead and keep pressing vinyl, well, I'm all for it. That's awesome. Anything else in the news?
Well,
No?
if I can throw in that Phantom Events has announced a signing event called Tom Baker and Friends, and that's going to feature him, Louise Jameson, and Philip Hinchcliffe. That'll be at the Richmond and Hillcroft Adult Community College on Saturday, the 13th of July. So if you're interested in that, please go to phantomevents.co.uk and look it up under 2019 Tom Baker and Friends, and you should be able to find all the info you need for tickets and whatnot.
Awesome. I think I know what I'm gonna have to mark my calendar then for, or at least to find out what's going on with it. Anywho, I think that wraps up our Who Knew News. I believe Christian had actually put out a poll for us, and it was on our Facebook page, the Traveling TARDIS. And I'm going to hurry and pull that up very quickly. I promise I'm more prepared in real life. Ha 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 ha. So our poll that Christian had put up was a yes or no kind of vote, and it was one quick and easy question. It was, do you think the Weeping Angels should return to Doctor Who? So we had a total of 154 votes. So I'll ask everybody this question. What do you think the percentage, what do you think the split was between yes and no? What do you think the majority was wanting? Mackenzie?
Well, I think I was one of the last people to vote, so I got really close. I probably even saw it. Last I saw it was like at 87% yes, which I voted yes as well. I definitely love the Weeping Angels. They creep me out. And in fact, I have a wonderful story I can tell about at a signing where somebody dressed as a Weeping Angel scared the bejesus out of me.
How about you, Brian? What do you think? What do you think our majority was without looking?
Okay, well, I was going to my original guess was going to be somewhere around 80% or so. So that's right in the neighborhood. Yeah, because they're a very popular character, very, very, bizarre. Plus, we still don't know a whole lot about them other than the fact they come from like beyond the dawn of time. So it'd be nice to see them back if they're well written.
How about you, Ellen? What do you think our audience was thinking about whether or not we should see Weeping Angels again in Doctor Who?
I feel like I'm going to jump on the bandwagon now and say I was going to go with 80% yes as well, but copying everyone now.
Well, as of right now, at this second, it is actually 86% yes. And then if only 14% of people said no, they do not want to see the Weeping Angels return. In the comment section, which sometimes is a good thing to go into, sometimes it's a bad thing. Carol Chapa says they're very scary, but I like to watch scary stuff. On the flip, oh, I can't even say on the flip side. There's one. Alexander McMillan, he says yes, but not for a little while. They, like the Master and Cybermen, need a rest for another season or two. So interesting comments. A lot of people overwhelmingly, or yes, 86%. Maybe I can understand that. If you're into Who, you always want to see new and exciting creatures. And honestly, with a series as long as it is, sometimes you want to see maybe somebody you haven't seen in a while, or even, again, brand new stuff is always a good thing. We're going to take a really quick commercial break. On the other side of it, we are going to delve in with awesome little questions that we have for Ellen. Stay tuned and we'll be right back. And we're back on the opposite side of the commercial break. This is Melanie Dean. I'm here with author Mackenzie, Dr. Freedom Brian, and our awesome person who we're going to be talking to and interviewing and talking about everything about her life, Elen Thomas. So, first question, I'm going to go ahead and just sneak in there and be the first interviewee person. How did you become a performer for Doctor Who? Because I know everyone wants to talk about Weeping Angels, but that wasn't the only role you had. So what got you into it and, becoming a performer?
So I went to college and did a performing arts sort of diploma, sort of sixth form college. And then I went and did a degree in theatre, music and media, and then moved to Cardiff. I went to see an agent in Cardiff, and he'd just had an email through that morning asking for somebody who could do robotic dancing. Ooh. So I'd got quite an extensive background in dance anyway, because I'd done it for the previous 5 years. Mm-hmm. So I hadn't done specific robotic dancing, but I figured it couldn't be that hard. So I said, yeah, of course, yeah, I can do robotic dancing. So they sent me for an audition, and it happened to be for season 1, episode 1 of Doctor Who. So I was an Auton.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How much makeup did that consist of? Because everyone, if you're not familiar with Autons, they were the living plastic. They were, or at least at that stage, later on in the episode, you kind of see a little bit more of what they really are. So I assume, were you a mannequin?
Yes, I was a mannequin. Yeah, I was one with the shooty hand. Yeah, they were only giving the shooty hands to the guys. So I was like, hang on, that's a bit sexist. I think you should give one over to one of the ladies. So yeah.
Especially you're like, no, I want to be weaponized too. Let me have a shooting hand.
Exactly. How is it only men that are allowed to have shooting hands? That's not fair. Bring it on. So yeah, so I got that. As makeup goes, it was kind of like a big rubber head that was sort of slit down the back that you just sort of slipped your head into, and then it was taped up, and then you had 3 breathing holes under your chin and about 5 pinpricks for eye holes, and that was it. So yeah, it wasn't ideal.
Couldn't really see out of it, just maybe even kind of peripherally, so you knew not to bump into anything, maybe.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, yeah, wow. It was really hot and sweaty because it was quite a thick rubber. It wasn't like close to your skin or anything, so it just felt like you were in this sort of, I don't know, like an iron mask type thing, but made out of rubber.
Oh my goodness, did you feel claustrophobic at all?
Yeah, and I really did suffer with claustrophobia before I did that job, and it sort of got me over my fear of it, because I just was like, right, well, I'm just gonna have to do it now because I'm getting paid and I'm on Doctor Who, so what are you gonna do? Just breathe through it, it's fine.
I like you're saying breathe through it after saying, I had 3 little holes that I could breathe through, so you could like a little straw just go.
So every time I breathed, I was just getting hot and sweaty and more moist, basically. Yeah.
How long was your shoot? Like, how long were you in that costume for? Were you like in there for like hours on end? And
no, we do like a couple of like we'd do sort of one camera angle, and then they'd let us out of the head for a little bit, and then we'd do another camera angle, and then they'd let us out of the head for a little bit. Because at one point we were filming under the hospital in Cardiff, and it was really warm in the basement area, so it was getting really, really hot. I think a couple of people did actually pass out. So it got really warm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Now, so that was your first. So that was your first foray as a performer for Doctor Who. What was your second?
Then it was the Clockwork Woman. Then.
Was that a little bit better because you were more clothed and not having to be constricted, or did what? How was that?
I love that because that was my first proper role then, because I got on really well with the choreographer that worked with us in season 1. And when they asked for a Clockwork Woman as a sort of main character, she put my name forward, and said that I'd be a good option. So I went and did that, and it was nice because it was my first contracted role then as an actual character.
So instead of me hogging up all the questions, Mackenzie, I know there's something you're dying to ask her. What other role? Go for it.
So I really want to know about how they put together the Weeping Angel, because I was at a Comic-Con and I was signing one of my copies of Right of Wands, and I looked up, and in the corner of my eye, I caught somebody as a Weeping Angel. I'm like, oh my God, when did they show up there? And literally, they stood there for 30 minutes, did not move, and I was like, wow, just blown away. But they completely scared the bejesus because I was not expecting them to be there. And then the fact that they went for almost a half hour out moving, I'm like, how in the world did they do that? So I want to know all the ins and bits about the Weeping Angels.
So it was all foam latex outfit. The skirt was sort of attached to a plinth. So it had a wooden base to it, and then it had like a bicycle seat built inside it on a metal pole, so that we could step into the skirt. It would be taped again down the back, and we'd be able to sit on the bicycle seat, so that because they put little caps over our eyes as well. So obviously, when you can't see and you're standing still and you're having to stand still for a long time, if you haven't got something to lean on, you start sort of shaking and moving around quite a bit. So the bicycle seat was there so that we could stay stiller for longer.
I'd imagine it would be disorientating.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the top, it was all foam latex basically. It was all a foam latex outfit, and then the wings, we had like a harness on underneath the top, and then the wings would attach into the harness, which they could then remove when we weren't shooting.
Wow.
Yeah, so they were pretty heavy as well, but as because they took them on and off in between the shots, it wasn't so bad. Yeah.
Did you feel as if there was there any other type of like a lot of makeup time for you, at least for because I like at least for your chin and your neck and everything else, or I'm trying to imagine you having to be in a makeup chair to have all this stuff, what you can take on, what you can, or on and off, and what you can't, how much prep time you have to think about getting in the chair, getting all that stuff down, and then getting onto set and then performing for X amount of hours.
Yeah, so we were in the chair for 6 hours doing the makeup. Yeah, there was because they first had to put our hair all in a bald cap. So we'd have all that sort of flattened in and put in a bald cap, and then they'd glue the mask on, then they'd glue the hair on, and then they'd have to paint up our arms, neck, chest, and any bits of exposed flesh basically, and they had to then match all that to the costume that they'd already done. So it was a case of there was what they call Pax Paint, which is a sort of mixture of glue and paint, which was the base for it. And then it was flicked with different paints and airbrushed and all sorts. It was a really long process, and then it took about 2 hours to take off at the end of the day.
Did you have at least like a team, like 2 or 3 artists working on you like at the same time to kind of help get you through the process?
Yeah, when they could. Yeah, there was more of them to help go through the process. Yeah.
Oh wow! So at that point, was that what made you start thinking more into going into the world of makeup instead of being the person who was the canvas and the person who was putting it on? Was your time in Who did that kind of spark that interest at all, or was that something that was always underlying from your time in school and in theater?
I mean, it was always underlying. I always did my friend's hair. Like I remember cutting my friend's hair when I was in sort of well, I'd been about 15, 16, and I cut her from having a bob haircut. She wanted a Posh Spice haircut at the time, so it was like a short back and sides almost with long on top. So I sort of redid my friend's hair, like restyled it completely, and I just used to do random things like that anyway with no training. So it was something I wanted to pursue, but my mum didn't think it was really my thing. She was a bit snobby, to be fair, and she was like, "Oh no, it's the people that drop out of school go and do hairdressing. You should go and do something else." So she pushed me towards acting, which was obviously a better career. but yeah.
Usually here, like at least from where I'm from, it's like the opposite, because they going into hair, and going to hair is like, oh, that's more of a profession. You're a stylist, you'll have a paid gig. Acting, it's always the one where it's like, no. Every parent's like nightmare. Almost.
I know. She's an
but
odd
good
human.
for her.
So yeah, why not? So after doing the Doctor Who and seeing, I loved all the makeup artists that worked on it anyway. I thought they were the nicest bunch of people, and just watching the guys from Millennium Effects making the monsters and sort of painting them all up, I just thought it was incredible, and it just made me want to pursue that interest more. Yeah.
Brian, do you have any questions, or
were you a fan of the show going in, or?
I did watch it a lot as a kid. I mean, we only had 4 channels anyway, so it was one of them things that I did used to watch with my mum and dad when I was younger. I used to watch Sylvester McCoy and Ace were my kind of people to watch. So I'm going to be doing a Comic-Con in Cambridge in August as well with Sylvester McCoy. I've not met him yet, so I'm actually quite excited. They're putting me on a little booth next to him as well, apparently. So I'm
that's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, cool. I met Sophie Aldred already, but yeah, she was lovely as well.
One thing I've noticed with Sylvester is whenever he's at that I've seen at a convention, or even just like little YouTube kind of clips and stuff, is that he does a lot of bird calling, and it's like insane how precise and wonderful it is. But he does it constantly. So I would love to hear, your after since you're going to be next to him, it's like there's just going to be different times where you're probably going to be, interacting with fans and everything, and then you're just going to hear birds, and then you're going to just turn to your left and it's Sylvester doing another call.
Oh my God, that's going to be so weird. I'm just going to be listening out for that now. Like, is he going to make a bird sound? When's he going to make a bird sound? Is he going to do it now?
Well, it's like I remember watching like a background for was one of the Hobbit movie, kind of it was the Hobbit movie that he was Radagast, and that they were just showing like backgrounds, and all of a sudden you heard a bird sounds, and there he is just in the background walking, leave like a little cup of tea, and he's making these bird calls. I'm going, wait, what? And then I had the opportunity to see him at a convention here in Orlando, and he was doing that. So I think you're gonna have fun.
Yeah, it should be.
Little fun, little
really, really nice as well. So yeah, it should be fun.
What would you say that's your favorite of the like creatures that you've done, and which one would be your favorite and why?
I think for me it was the Clockwork Woman. I think it was nice to get dressed up in this sort of really posh dress. I'm not much of a dress wearer myself, really, so it was kind of nice to wear something that was so ornate, and for it to be sort of my character as well. Do you know what I mean? That it was my first sort of contracted role as an actual character with words, and I had like a scene with David Tennant and stuff. It was all just very exciting.
Where was that scene filmed? Because wasn't it the one where it was like the nice big hall and he comes in on the horse at that point, or was that more of the? I'm trying to place the scene. Where were you for the background and all that fun stuff?
I'm trying to think. Like, so the big hall was somewhere around Birmingham, which is like middle England, or the Midlands. I'm thinking it was a South Wales based place. God, do you know what? It's going back about 12 or 13 years ago now. I struggled to remember last week, to be honest.
But that was your scene, right? It was there in the hall.
There was that one, and then there was the one where they froze me. So I was trying to explain. Well, basically that he got this freezing thing and froze me, and then I was like, Steph.
Were you just was that one of those kind of scenes where when you could move and everything, but with the second they said action, you had to remember what your placement was, and you're just stuck?
And then yeah.
For an eternity, you're like, okay, I can't breathe. I'm just stuck here. Oh, my elbow hurts.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't really allowed to breathe anyway because we had really, really restricting corsets on, which stopped any kind of breathing going on. So, no, it was it was bad.
Did you have to wear was that the like a full hoop skirt style, or did you have all the undergarments on top of it, so it's almost like a full period piece that you had to wear?
Yeah, it was an absolute full period piece. All the undergarments, the like full on period dress, full period dress with the sort of baskets at the side and the corsets, and yeah, it took ages to get ready to get dressed as well. I had to have somebody else help me get dressed, which is weird.
Well, just trying to imagine like living in those times to realize that you needed handmaidens and everything to help you get dressed in the morning, just so that you could like put on my shirt. It's like, oh, I can do this. No, I can. No, you need a fleet of people just to help you button this up properly.
Yeah, exactly. Bizarre. Thank God we don't live then.
No, goodness, no. One question I wanted to ask you in regards to your transitioning into like your makeup career. What like I completely online stalked you and I looked at your IMDb, and I see that you do a lot of the crowds more than anything. That and to kind of educate our audience, can you kind of let everybody know like how many people you typically have to make up when you're doing a crowd kind of scene?
I mean, it varies from job to job. I've worked on things like Poldark and The Crown, which are sort of big period pieces. There was a show that I worked on a couple of years ago called Will, which I think was only shown in America, actually. I'm not sure it was even shown here. I think it was a Stars program. But we were having like 300 extras through at some points to dress up in. It was a Elizabethan stroke kind of 80s. It was a weird kind of look, really. But we were having like 300 extras through, and there'd be 40 makeup artists all sort of there to do the 300 extras in 2 hours before they went on in the morning. But then I'm working on a Netflix drama at the moment. It's a sort of kids, well, it's a teenage-based show, but there's a lot of kids, so that we have about 100 kids, and we have about 6 of us make them up in the morning. But I like doing crowds because I also home educate my little boy. If you do long jobs, so if you're on the main team doing the main actors, you're on the job from start to finish, and some of them might last 6 months, some of them might last, I mean, Doctor Who films for 10 months, and you're working 12, 13-hour days, 5 days a week for 10 months. Well, I mean, I'd never see my little boy, let alone be able to homeschool him if that's the sort of work I was doing. So with doing crowd work, you tend to just get pulled in when there's crowds of people. So I tend to do about 2 or 3 days a week on different shows, and it means I get to go and have jollies in various different places. So I'm in between 3 different jobs at the moment. 2 of them are filmed in Wales, and one of them's filmed just outside London.
Oh wow! So you're taking the train back and forth and back and forth.
Well, I'm driving, but
you driving?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I love bless you.
I know. I love driving.
Well, I would imagine you have to having 2 and 1 in Wales, and then the other one all the way in London, have to go east west.
Yeah.
Oh, that's insane.
Yeah, I get very familiar with the M4. I got to be honest, which is the main motorway between Wales and London. It's it's becoming like a second home.
Being in your car on a motorway.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to hurry up and pause this for one quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to continue our interview with Elen Thomas. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. And you're now joining us back on the other end of the commercial break. This is Melanie Dean. I'm here with Mackenzie Floor, Brian Burris, and we are continuing our interview with Elen Thomas, where we learned that one of her favorite places to live is on a motorway in her car. It's home sweet home when she's not. But I could see what to your point earlier, where you want to do those crowd backgrounds, because if you're homeschooling, how we term it here in the US, your child, that you need to have that flexibility to be able to be able to properly educate, to take care of your child. If you're doing like the makeup, like you're saying, and you're on a 10-month, job in Wales, you're not going to be able to get home and go, okay, well, what schooling do we need to go over today? Oh, wait, I need to pass out. I'm tired.
Yeah.
That's amazing that you're able to do the 3 jobs and school your son. That's insane. You are a Wonder Woman, lady.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, either that or a glutton for punishment. I'm not sure which one it is yet.
How do you fit the conventions in there as well? Because I see that. I mean, you've been to Florida, because I remember I saw you once, maybe last year or so, at like Time Lord Fest Jacksonville, and you're able to do all these other conventions. How do you find the time to be able to juggle all of this?
Honestly, I'm not actually sure.
Do you need a TARDIS to help, get you back and forth in the correct time period?
I mean, I have got one. So it means I get to be in 2 places at once, which was handy. But yeah, no, I think I just take every day as it comes, and then just hope for the best, really. I try not to pre-plan my life too much and just sort of whimsically float along through life.
No, it's not. I just, so much kudos to you for being able to just to have such a kinetic life. To me, that's just amazing, because I'm very much somebody who thinks deeply into everything. So to know that you have the 3 different jobs, that you have to go back and forth, and the drive time and everything, because I'd like to think like my brain, I do have the right side where I'm very creative, but my left side, I go crazy analytical. And now I'm like having an Excel spreadsheet right now in my brain going, how does she do it? Does she sleep? Does she have a TARDIS? This woman is incredible.
I get asked that a lot, weirdly. I do get asked a lot, because obviously then I do the music and gigs, and I've just started learning how to tattoo as well. So I'm getting online lessons of how to tattoo. So I don't know. I think I just like doing lots of things.
That's true. I mean, we haven't even begun to even scratch the surface on your music career. That you're a very talented musician. You're I don't want to call it a band, but What's Eating Elkie Barton.
Yes.
That's I don't know. I hate to say the word band, but that is what your musicianship name, I guess. How would you term that?
Yeah, I struggle with how to term that, if I'm honest. Like, I do call it my band, but it is just me. But like, yeah, it's a band name. I mean, when I started, when I named that band, there was 2 others that we used to just sort of play around more. So there was 3 of us to start with, but then for one reason or another, it just got logistically difficult, I guess. So I've ventured on my own, but I mean, they still float in and out. They've just got their own commitments that they're having to deal with more, and it's kind of easier just to be myself.
Do you tend to do a lot more live gigs than anything, or wherever you can wherever you can fit them in? Because I've seen some stuff on your Facebook page where you're playing the ukulele, and you have an amazing live voice. So, and for that to come across in from whatever you're filming on, whether it's a phone or camera or whatnot. So I wonder, do you do a lot of live performances, or do you
I try and do as many as possible. I've got a few festivals this summer, and I try and do a lot of open mic nights. I quite like going to different cities and doing open mic nights, and just getting out live as much as possible, really.
Fantastic. Joining us is Nisha Mulchen from Diversely Geek. She was trying to get on a little earlier, but had just tiny bit of technical difficulties. Nisha, can you hear us?
I am here.
Yay, Nisha.
Yay.
Well, we're here. We're interviewing Elen Thomas. We just started talking about her brilliant music. But if you have any other questions, if you want to backtrack just a little bit more into who, please do, Nisha.
Well, how are you? And I'm so sorry for being late to the game. Sometimes it happens. But I don't want to, and I didn't get a chance to hear all the questions, so I definitely don't want to overlap. Can you you have a pretty wide berth in terms of your music style. So what do you think has been like your favorite style? Or what do you think you feel most connected to?
Oh, it's probably going to be a bit of a weird one, but like I really like hip hop.
Oh wow, cool!
I know, yeah. It's just been something I've loved ever since I was younger. It's not something. I mean, I'm not a rapper myself, but I do like a good hip hop beat, and I love dancing I did a lot of street jazz and hip hop dancing when I was in university.
Yes, I saw that. I was wondering what style. I thought maybe contemporary, but jazz goes with that.
Yeah, I did 2 years of contemporary dance and then 3 years of street jazz and hip hop.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense with hip hop. It does make sense with hip hop because hip hop does sample a lot, or at least the driving beats underlying are very, very musically orchestrated. There's a lot of different measures in there that have a lot more harmony. So that kind of makes that to me that makes a lot of sense. That's really cool.
It's an amalgamation style, one from the spiritual background, but then also as time has passed, it brings together all the different styles, and really I love that about it. So. And I love jazz. I'm a huge fan, so of anything you can dance, just so you know. And I like your music very much. So thank you. How do you balance? Should I ask that question? Do you prefer acting, dancing, singing, or is it an equal thing?
I'd say music is definitely my first love. Singing, I don't remember a time when I didn't used to sing. I've just always sung. I used to compete in, I don't know if you know about them in America, but we have Eisteddfods, which are like competitions in Wales, and they go national through Wales, where people sort of compete in singing or reciting poems or whatever it is. And I used to compete in them from a very young age. I think it's just in my blood, music and singing. So that would be my first love for sure.
Does your family have a background in music as well?
My dad used to sing. Actually, he was. We've got a record of him when he was really young. Do you know the singer Elen Thomas? He sang the Snowman song like way back in the 80s.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, so he's like a Welsh guy. Like it's sort of choir-esque sort of singing. So my dad used to sort of be a soprano kind of singer, like choir-esque singer. And then my mum used to she used to play double bass in the South Wales Orchestra. So yeah.
Okay, so you have the musical genes in you.
Yeah, the musical genes. Yeah, yeah.
What instruments do you play? Because I mean, I've seen the ukulele that you've done on the, but do you just go guitar, or what instruments do you play that you want to play that you're kind of learning now?
So I've always dabbled with the piano. I'm not great at it. My technical knowledge on music isn't great. I'm more of an intuitive musician as opposed to a learned one, I guess. Right. So yeah, I play ukulele, I play guitar. I used to play flute, but I haven't really played that for a while. I dabble with the piano, and I like percussion as well. On my new album, I've played a lot of the percussion on that. So a lot of the shakers and the tambourines and the djembes and stuff like that. I like all that.
Wait, you play a djembe?
Oh well, I have a djembe. And I do like playing it. I'm not sure that I would say I play the djembe because I'm not sure I want to play it for anybody else or in public for that matter.
Well, I play my son and my daughter. So all three of us play that. We play duffely and tambura, which is the other one, the skin tambourine. So that's cool.
That is cool.
I can't
play with me. I need a percussionist.
Yeah. Anytime you want me, I'll come in. Hey, I'm actually going to be there in England in September.
So, what are you doing in England in September?
I'm actually coming on my first vacation in many years.
Wow.
Good for you.
And I have
seriously.
some interviews.
Why England? It rains and everything here.
Oh, that's interviews for my organization, so it's okay. So I'm going to get those done, and then, yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Why not? I have family, so.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. But Dad, I'll come and we can have a percussion session.
Yeah, awesome. We'll have a jam session. I'm up for it.
Absolutely.
I'm going to interject because I'm going to be the horrible person that has to say, I have to go to commercial one more time. And this is going to be the final one, I promise. And then when we return, we're going to keep on talking with our host. Or blah! With our the host. Oh, good Lord, I need to go take a nap. We're going to talk more with Elen Thomas because she is amazing. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
And welcome back to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. This is Melanie Dean. Joining me is Mackenzie Floor, Brian Burris, and Diversely Geeks, Nisha Mulchin. We are here with Elen Thomas. We're chit-chatting a little bit more about everything that makes her awesome. Especially now she's looking for a percussionist for her band. She has just got everything going on. This is crazy amazing. So I'm going to toss it out to everybody as we enter our final segment. If anybody has, it's going to be kind of more of a running the board of any question whatsoever. So if you have any Who questions, any music questions, any questions about makeup, feel free to throw them on in now. It's time to, we're going to throw tons of questions at you, Ellen. Here we come.
Do it.
Okay, I guess I'll go then. Everyone quiet. Okay. What was the more difficult character as far as the choreography goes? Because when you're doing the the robot person, you got to walk a certain way, and when you're doing the angel, you have to move a certain way. Which one was more difficult, do you think, than any of them?
I mean, I think they all brought their own difficulties. I guess the Auton and the robot were a really similar style of movement. So yeah, I mean, the Weeping Angels was difficult because of the length of time we had to stand still and generally not move, and then the other ones were more difficult because of the style of moving. I guess all in all, the Clockwork Woman was probably the hardest one to get right, maybe. Yeah, something like that. I'll say that.
Which is of all the characters, and again, going to like your conventions, which of the characters, if you're doing autographs or really having that fan engagement, does everybody recognize you as, or what role do they fit you into? Is it the Weeping Angel? Is it the Auton?
It's a sort of toss up really between the Weeping Angel and the Clockwork Woman. I think most people do most people know about the Weeping Angels. I think it's a big fan favorite, the Weeping Angels. Whereas then with the Clockwork Woman, I think there's people like the love story and the romantic sort of things behind the whole story of it. And I think
do you think at all a little bit of it is with the Weeping Angel because it was the makeup on your face where the viewer can kind of see those aspects of you shining through? Do you think that kind of almost plays a little part of the, I don't want to say, are you ever recognized?
No.
Like on the street and going, oh my God, Mommy, that was a Weeping Angel. Wait,
yeah.
Child, how did you do that?
How did you do that?
How did you see through that?
No, never. No, I'm quite glad actually. But I mean, maybe one day through the music, then I'll get recognized. But yeah, no, not as my masked characters. No.
Which I'm sure that's got to be kind of nice if you need to like pop over to Tesco real quick. You don't have to worry about people, standing in your way when you just need to get eggs. You need to run home.
I do often wonder how people like Lady Gaga get away with just popping down and getting some bread and milk. Do you know what I mean? How do they do that? I don't know.
She looks a lot different without everything on. So I think that's why a lot of musicians actually wear a persona completely different than themselves, because that way they have the ability to be anonymous in a sense when they take everything off. So maybe that's it. How difficult has it been for you? I'm sorry. I would be petrified if I had to put makeup on the way that you all do. So kudos and hats off. How hard is it to stay still long enough to get all of that on?
I mean, I have a bit of a Zen place, so I kind of go into my little head where I just kind of, I don't know if it's an internal meditation or what. I can just sort of zone out. I can do it for hours, in fact. So yeah, it's not that difficult for me. I think some people, it's like kids, obviously. It's, as a makeup artist, I'm always like ducking out the way when kids walk in, because they're the worst ones for sitting still. You're like, oh, have I got something from my bag? Like, and I just duck out the way so that I don't have to do the kids really. But most adults are pretty good at sitting still for quite a length of time, to be fair. And I find it almost quite relaxing.
Oh,
on both sides.
For your makeup work, do you kind of enjoy doing more of the period pieces for makeup, or is there stuff that, I don't know if you do horror or anything else, more thriller or anything else? What is your favorite kind of style makeup where you, when you get a production, when you're getting a gig and you're like, ooh, I get to put this on people? Which one kind of excites you?
To be honest, it's nice to have a bit of a change. Like I love the period pieces. I love doing period hair. I love 40s hair. I love 60s hair. I love doing big 80s hair. But then saying that, I love doing, like, I did a program called The State, which was a 4-part Channel 4 sort of it wasn't a documentary, hang on, it was a drama. And I had to do this big shoulder blast off this woman's shoulder, so I had to sort of do a big silicone piece and paint it all up all bloody like she'd been in a bomb blast. And then I like it all, to be honest. I think every new job I go on is kind of exciting as to what's going to be the next fun thing to do. Do you know what I mean? It's not I don't necessarily prefer one thing over anything else. I just like the variety of the job, that I get to do different things on each job, and I think each job then brings its own excitement because of that.
Do you find that because you are so multi-talented and multifaceted in your art, do you find that, one, do you prefer any of them? I'll go back to that question, but two, do you find that you're able to get work on a regular basis consistently?
What do you mean when you say, do I prefer any of them? Any of what specifically? Oh, is she frozen?
If I'm reading it right, I think she means in music or makeup or acting.
Or makeup or acting, or even dance, because that's another thing on its own as well. So
yeah, do you know, I think that I get bored really easily doing one thing over a long period of time for too long at a time. So I think I'm much more of I like doing lots of different things and having that variety. I think if I just had to choose one thing, any of those one things would probably kill me in the end. Whereas the opportunity to get to do lots of different creative things that I enjoy all of, I think, I mean, obviously singing is still going to be, like, if I had to just sing for the rest of my life, I think I'd be okay with that. But everything else, I think.
And I ask because I tend to ask this question a lot, because I've noticed that being artistic, that we tend to really, really have many talents. And I want people to know that that's a good thing. Go after all those talents, right? Don't make yourself focus on any one thing. It's okay to go out there and try other things, whether it's writing or, being an artist, or whether it's singing or something else. So what would you recommend for a child who's growing up and has all these different, talents and wants to pursue them?
Keep doing them all. Keep honing all your talents, because I think there's always going to be an avenue to use any of your talents, and it's never going to be a waste of time, sort of doing what you love doing and getting better at it. That's always going to be a good use of your time.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brian, Mackenzie, any questions that because we're looking at about maybe 4 more minutes of interview time until we have to tell Ellen that we have to stop. So any other questions, guys?
Yeah, I'll throw one in here. So we're going back to like the different dancing that you did. I have a background where I did ballet, jazz, and then I got into hip hop recently because of Beachbody Size. So have you done like any type of music videos at all?
Yeah, I used to be with a drum and bass band called Stadler and Waldorf years ago when I was in my early 20s. And yeah, I did a music video. I actually produced the music video as well with the producer. So just me and him made the whole video, and I starred in it as well. That's on YouTube somewhere. I think it's called Mode in Mind. It's yeah, Stadler and Waldorf Mode in Mind. It's an old one though, and you know, it maybe hasn't moved on with the times, but but yeah, I was in that. Have I done anything else? I'm trying to think. I probably have somewhere along the lines. No, I don't know. No, that was the only like properly produced one that I've done that actually looks like a proper music video. But yeah, I will make more.
Is there anything else that you've got going on right now that you want to tell our audience or want to direct our audience to, or here's the time to plug, Ellen. Let's do this. Let's get everybody following you and seeing you and where you're going to be at, and all that fun stuff.
I've got some festivals coming up in the summer in England. I've got one in Clarence Park Festival in up Yorkshire way. I want to say Wakefield. I'm doing Fairyfields Festival on the 6th and 7th of July. The Clarence Park Festival is at the end of July. And I'm going to be doing a festival out in Bosnia called West Herzegovina Festival on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of August. What else? I'm busy recording my album at the moment. That should be hopefully ready for release around Christmas or the start of next year. So that's going to be a What to Eat in Elkie Barton album. All my stuff's available on SoundCloud, which is soundcloud.com/Elkie Barton. So I'm putting all my demo versions up on that anyway, so you won't have to buy the album. It'll all be there for free anyway. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Facebook. You can follow me, Elen Thomas, or you can follow What to Eat in Elkie Barton. But yeah, I think that's... God, what else have I got? I think that's it.
You think that's it? This woman of many talents has so much lined up. I am completely envious of just your kinetic personality, and that you're just such a go-getter, and that speaking to you, you can hear the effervescence in your voice on how much energy you're bringing to all of these different projects. And even if they happened in the past, you still have this just amazing insight to an energy of what happened back then, and that same energy for what's you're coming up and into the future. So it's just been absolutely amazing to speak with you, Ellen. Thank you for being on our show.
Thank you for having me. I can't believe it's gone so quickly.
I know. Well, if you ever want to come back on, you are more than welcome to. If you have more items that, tell us about your festivals that you're working on, tell us more about the music that you're working on. We would love to have you and love to chit chat with you again.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. It really has.
So, wrapping a little bit more up, I want to say thanks to our audience for listening to us chat once again. This is Melanie Dean on behalf of author Mackenzie Floor, Diversely Geeks Nisha Mulchin, and Dr. Freedom's Brian Burris. I want to thank you all for being a part of the legend. Lastly, to talk us out or to listen out of the show, What's Eaten Elkie Barker? Did I say it right?
No, Barton.
Barton. Oh my goodness. I had this great wrap up and look what happened. Okay, so we have a little bit of music to listen to at the very end, so you can keep hearing Ellen and her amazing, amazing musical and songwriting abilities. So thanks again. We really appreciate it, and enjoy.
Thank you.
Okay, we're good.
Yay!
Okay. I have to ask the question, just for the heck of it. Is it raining in Cardiff?
Do you know what? It has been today, but I don't think it actually is right now. But it's
No, I'm
dark
just-
outside, so I'm not sure.
I'm just joking. I have a friend of mine, Steve. He lives in Cardiff. All he does is goes, "It's always frickin' raining."
It does rain quite a lot. It's been a really rubbish summer so far, to be fair. It's been sort of like about 19 degrees and not very summery at all.
Wow. That's like 15 degrees here, I think.
Oh, wow.
That's about, I'm translating in my head. That's about 50 something degrees here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's not warm.
Ooh, no. Meanwhile, I'm trying to do Celsius in my head and I can't. I'm just going to say it's 95 degrees where I'm at because I'm in the
Fahrenheit language, yeah.
Fahrenheit language.
Yeah, it's been beautiful here.
Ellen, I'm coming to London with my Harry Potter friends. I didn't say it on the thing, but we're going to do a Harry Potter tour and like all the geeky stuff. Because I'm a huge nerd. So anything that has to do with Doctor Who, Harry Potter, or anything else like that is what I'll be doing. That will be my London. So
that sounds fun.
Probably lots of music because I want to run down to Liverpool, hopefully, and see the Beatles place and all that good stuff. I'll be a pure tourist.
I mean, I don't think the Beatles still play as a band. I think
I don't think so, but I can at least see the place. So, or Abbey Road at the very least. Gosh, okay.
I would definitely bring an umbrella. That was one thing when I went to. I was surprised with going into London, just going inside, and it's almost almost Florida-ish. You're outside, it's beautiful, and you go inside to go to grab food, whatever. You walk outside, and it's just pouring, and you're like, "What?" Like, this is great. Keep an umbrella with you.
Yeah,
honestly.
Good shout. I will do it.
Yeah.
So we're a jam session when I come up there.
Yes, absolutely.
That'll be so much fun.
Friend me on Facebook and we'll keep in touch.
I will do that, definitely. Definitely. Thank you guys. Sorry I was so late.
I was going to say, we also have to do the intro for her, too, that we do for everybody. Do you know how to do it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell Ellen how?
So we do this thing with every of our guests when they introduce a show. We have them come on first to introduce it, and then we do our show as we normally do. So in this case, you would introduce yourself as you would say, I'm Elen Thomas. However you want to introduce yourself, and then say you're listening to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS radio show.
So, hang on.
If you want, if you need to put the lines in your head, down. However you want, you want to write it down.
I will write it down. Let me find a pen. Hang on.
No worries. But yeah, if you don't mind doing that, that would be absolutely amazing. And we could always use you as a bumper for other shows, for this show, for Awesome. And again, as to Mackenzie's point, you can introduce yourself however you wish. That's absolutely fine. If you want to do it a couple different times, it's absolutely fine. I'm still recording. They'll just kind of cut that out and paste it into other little intros.
So it's the Legend of the Traveling
TARDIS. Nope, you had it perfect. The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
And do you put show at the end of that?
Radio show, yes.
Yeah, radio show.
TARDIS radio show. So if I say, hi, I'm Elen Thomas, and you're listening to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS radio show.
Yep, that'd be perfect.
Okay. So do I just say it? Because it's already recorded. Okay.
Yeah.
Hang on. Right. Hi, I'm Elen Thomas, and you're listening to the Legend of the Traveling Hang on.
We're keeping that one. That is now my ringtone. Sorry.
I get all tongue-tied when I have to say actual lines. I'm like, oh my god, tongue-tied. Right, the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS radio show. The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS radio show. Right. Hi, I'm Elen Thomas, and you're listening to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS radio show. Fun times.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, one weird question though. I didn't want to ask it when we were doing the recording. Were you the one who actually got to say that we didn't have the parts line?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I was like, wait a minute, your voice sounds so familiar. I'm like, oh, okay, now I know what part you're on there. All right, I see it. Yeah.
Yeah, we did not have the parts, man. Yeah. I think I said the same line like 3 times, didn't I?
We did not have the parts. I was like, oh, okay. Because that line was so creepy because it begins to register. Oh God, now I know what's going on here. All right.
Yeah.
The weight, honestly, that's a pivotal line. That's the part
Yeah.
where you find out the weight of it. Oh, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. You had that line. You're like,
I had that line.
That's the creepy line. That's the creepy
I mean,
line.
I think they overdubbed me with some sort of radio voice as well, but I was in the room doing that line with him, with David Tennant.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think they might have overdubbed me with some sort of radio voice or robot voice.
but still, that was you. That was you. That's awesome.
Well, yeah.
Well, I have to disconnect the call now because I have to go. I am starving.
Right.
And I know, Ellen, you probably want to go to bed.
Yes.
Which, again, thank you.
Yeah, just wanted to say thank you, Ariel, for taking the time and all that.
Thanks for
Yeah, it
having
was
me.
absolutely
Pleasure.
Yeah, we really, truly appreciate it. And again, if you ever want to come back on again, just let us know. It can be this time. If you ever want to do a Saturday where it's a little bit easier time-wise, we would be more than happy to, to change our own schedules to accommodate. Honest to God, we will.
Bless you. Yeah, please keep in
thank you.
touch. We'd love to do this again.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Take care, all of you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Take care.
Well,
Bye.
bye.
Bye.